Hello all, time again for Q&A. How are you all doing? Fantastic. Hope you had a wonderful week. So this week's video has mainly been on the outing I did, which I elected to call the Nick of Time. The reason for this was because on the way out, I thought I wouldn't get a job back, and then I realised I was going to get a job back, and I thought there's no way on earth I'm going to make it back. And I thought, I just might. So it really is, it's down to the wire. This thing is totally down to the wire. It's a three-parter, this one. So, yeah, I hope you don't get bored halfway through. But I figured it'd be easier to break it into 3 bits and keep them short, rather than do it as one massive thing, which would people just probably lose interest in after the first 10 minutes and then turn off. So what we got to say about it this week, Dale Steele says, I might get my HGV licence and buy a few trucks. Really, Dale? You want to do it, mate? Oh, I tell you. Trucks is a war of attrition. It really is. One of our drivers, new driver, admittedly, and I think he's a good driver because he's come under a bit, he got pulled and he's not strapped. So we had a PG9. We had a prohibition order. Now, I had no idea what a prohibition order was, because it's never happened to me before, and I kind of figured it can't be that bad, because they basically pulled him over and said strap your load, and then said off you go again. I actually thought it was to do with the fact he had the wrong tacho in, the wrong the operator's disc. He had one that said Dunstable and it should have said Leicester, because I forgot to swap them over. No, now it's sort of letters and proving that all the drivers are told that they're supposed to strap their loads, which they are. Now we've got to the stage we're having to get all of the drivers to photograph every load that they do and put it on the WhatsApp before they leave. It's a war of attrition. It just keeps going on and on and on. There's an awful lot of compliance to it, and the truth of the matter is it doesn't take that long. That's a frustrating thing. You sort of open the curtains when you get a T-pieces over, chuck the straps over, and then bolt them up. It takes 5 minutes. And if you've got a strap winder, put a thing on for that. Yeah, I've done a video on those before. It's not that hard. The only thing that is kind of frustrating sometimes is when you put it on and you kind of think, it's like 5 pallets or 4 pallets up against the bulkhead. I know that's not going anywhere. And I'm going to put straps on, and I'm going to get to the other side, and I'm going to take straps off, and they're really not going to do anything, because I know that's not going anywhere. But it's got to be done. You've got to do it, because otherwise, world of pain. So, Dale, if you fancy a world of pain, mate, feel free to jump in. It's taken me 4 or 5 years to get here, and I'm still going, and I am still jumping through hoops of fire. But you got to do what you got to do, ain't you? Really. So, Mitch says, he said, new to the channel, but thanks for the video. So I'm starting off as a bedroom broker while I'm still working full-time elsewhere, until I get enough customers to try to buy an LGV or lorry. And again, a no license. Quick question. How did you fund the purchasing of your trucks? Do you only have DAFs, as I'm looking for either an IV car or a DAF 7.5 tonne to start, but for the same price you can get older, same age, 18-tonne vehicle? What would you recommend? I tell you what, Mitch, we'll do you a video. But in short, I bought my lorries one at a time. I had a van, which I then sold to buy a lorry, and then we made enough money to buy a second lorry, and then we made enough money to buy a third lorry. I run 4 DAFs and 1 Mercedes, and if I had my time again, I wouldn't have bought the Merc. Merc's fine, it's okay. It's just the parts are more difficult to obtain. It's got a jumpy clutch. It's got a kangaroo clutch in it. Something's wrong with the clutch that when it's cold, it starts to go. It's no better or worse than the DAFs. It's just got a posh bench on the front. So, but that's my personal opinion. But I tell you what, Mitch, give us a chance, and I'll get you a video going out on that one. So. White Van Man says, oh, John, this makes me smile actually. Cheap travel lodge rooms have finished, haven't they, for the winter? When I've been looking recently, they've been expensive. More expensive than £13 is half the price of a travel lodge room. Mate, tell me about it. I've been out a few times this week. In fact, I was out 3 nights this week. I was out 2 nights, 3 days. And because I haven't got a bed in my DAF, and I'm convinced the people at DAF that were targeted with designing the day cab had the mission statement, make a day cab that works perfectly well during the day, but if for some reason, like snow, you're stuck in it over night time, make it the most uncomfortable space you could possibly think of to sleep in. We put a ridge in the middle, then we put the handbrake there, and it's like, because I had to do one job, and I had to deliver it in Bristol. I know, that's right, I picked it up on Friday, had to deliver it in Bristol 7 o'clock in the morning, and then bring the empty crates back. And of course, because I was a bit concerned about oversleeping, I went to bed early and then woke up at 12. And at 2 o'clock, I went, I can't do this anymore. So I headed down there. I thought I'll get a kip on the way down there. I got 3/4 now kip. Trying to sleep in a day cab, it's just a nightmare. Whichever position you try and turn in, something is jamming you from the side. It's like stabbing you, trying to keep you awake, like, But I got 3/4 of an hour, like, but then I picked a couple of longer jobs going out because it's quite a time of year, and I thought, well, I'll get the travel lodge. Like, I'll do the Lenny Henry Hotel. One came in at £75, one came in at £95. And the problem that you've got, and this is something I've always said, I keep saying to the missus, that I'm doing my best to try and bring as much dough in as possible, and it's quiet, so I'll go anywhere. So you go anywhere, so you end up in Exeter, and then you've had to sort of I picked the job up in the afternoon, so I've gone as far down to Exeter as possible, then stayed in the hotel, then dropped the job off, got very good money, but then couldn't get anything coming up, so you get a Mickey Mouse job coming up. And when you actually do the maths on it, you're actually better off just staying where you are and just doing a couple of jobs locally than going like a million miles and getting a load of money and then getting nothing on the way back. But there are different ways to run. Sure, I've done a video on that one before on the exchange, and truth lies somewhere in between. The things I don't mind it. I don't mind the collar. I don't mind the distance. I just don't want to do it for nothing. I don't want it. Busy fools. You want to be working smarter and not harder, and blue sky thinking, and all these other ridiculous things that they say in business that mean absolutely nothing. I'm just trying to turn a coin. That's what we say in the market. You say, all I want to do is, I just want to go work my own some money, feed my family. It's not too much to ask, is it? We're getting there now. We're getting there. Could have done without a PG noise. Right, what else we got? Christian Gray says Blackpool, Bristol, Blackpool, Preston. Yeah, I'm the world's worst courier driver, mate. We know that. If my sat-nav goes dead in Dunstable, I can't find my way home. So, yeah. It's definitely one of those places. He also said, is this an old video? Because it still has Paddock-Way signage on the curtains. No. What happened with that is on the Paint Your Wagon video, which is probably one of my personal favourite videos, to be honest, I think. I painted the curtains with a ridiculously small tin of paint. Then I got a bigger tin of paint, painted them, and they faded back through within, I don't know, I think it was between 24 and 48 hours. Now, it wasn't that. They lasted about a month or so, and in the end I went, can't do this. So I'm driving around in a truck, a badly painted Paddock-Way truck. The one advantage it is you'll know it's me. Like the 18 van with the red stripes down the side, or the old the General Lee, the red sort of the Gran Torino type. No, the Starsky and Hutch, the Gran Torino, red with the white stripes down the sides. Well, I'm in the Paddock-Way truck with the badly painted Paddock-Way. So I think we have a theme tune. Anybody out there is, what's fancy banging out a theme tune? I'm sure we stick it in, So, Snap Logistics said. He said, look like a very quiet Amazon Gates. Wish you the best wherever you are right now. Well, I'm obviously at home right now. I was dead lucky. It was a new-ish Amazon. And it strikes me that if you go into a newish distribution centre, I had to go into one today. I was crazy, actually. In fairness, I was one. There was me, and then 10 minutes later, an Arctic turned up. Despite that, I was still stuck on the bay. Given the square beepy thing, has anyone had square beepy things? They look a bit like Simon, that kids game used to play, and they'll give you it on a timer and you put it in the cab. Makes sense. And then what they do is when you're tipped, the computer beeps you to say that you're done, because clearly the red and green lights down by the side of the lorry aren't enough. Although in fairness, I've seen it a lot of times where they've taken the pallets off, the shutter's gone down, the light's gone green. Yeah, you ain't done. they're counting every box. You might not be done for 3/4 of an hour, so it kind of did work, like, you know. But yeah, but the newer systems, the brand new distribution. Distribution. I've got my teeth in, haven't I? Distribution centres seem to get you in and out quicker because they ain't got so much going on. You know, my Amy said there was only 2 people working in this one, or seemed to be so. Shane Hardy says, nice to see another Life on the Road video. Looking forward to the next video instalment. Thank you, Shane. The next one and the one after. Dragged on a bit. I try and keep them short. I don't really know where it comes from, to be honest with you. So there we go. So, right, this week's Wise Guys. Now the nonsense is out of the way. Steve Campbell, because I did actually have to do the M6 toll road. He says, I know a legal hack for the M6 toll road. Been doing it a few times a week in the last 6 months. It's been costing me nothing each time, apart from once when I used a fuel card by mistake. Well, if you want to share it with the boys, well, you know, we're always very happy to hear the information, or just with me on a personal message so I can take advantage of it, and all you guys can go fend for yourself. I have to make the videos. I do this for free. You know, you work it out. I'll be quite happy with that, but the chances are, well, I've got to be honest with you, it was nice, the M6 toll road. Stay tuned to find out what happens on the M6 toll road. It's not that exciting. I'll give you a clue. It really is not. It's not like, you know, it's not like a bomb going off the Queen Vic. It's really not. It's real though. Lord Rupert Knob says, oh right, hang on a second. Oh yes, we're on the Wise Guys. What does the red letter C on the road and the gantry sign mean? So that when you're going through to anything, if you're going through to like a congestion zone, or you're going through to the Dartford Bridge or the Dartford Tunnel or any sort of crossing, if you see a red circle with a C, it means as you drive over it, you get charged. You'll see a white circle with a C, which means there's a red circle with a C coming up now. So if you don't want to get charged, veer off. But what I will do, my friend, I'll do your own personal video on that one, because I think that is actually worth having on the YouTube, because I'm sure there are a load of people out there, maybe car drivers as well, don't know what's going on. It's worth knowing. So thanks for flagging that question up there. So, right. The ACDAs, I'm going to have to work out how to pronounce that. The Alternative Courier Driver Awards. Now, these are the awards for, we've got to do these at the end of the year, for the worst job, most chaotic, wheels fell off job, most unbelievable return, you know, right place, right time, my God, I can't believe I got that much kind of money, most convoluted on-site directions, I haven't had many for that one, I've got to be honest, so that's Nick's one, best paying job, strangest load, I don't know, best paying job, and now we've got, thanks to somebody, best burger van. I kind of thought we could do a thing, because it is kind of a forum where we talk to each other. Can you recommend quality burger vans, sausage vans, all that kind of stuff around the country? Nice and easy parking. Actually, does a real. They bake their own bread. That kind of nonsense. I'd like to see that one. Might be out there somewhere. So, well, anyway, John Shaw says best burger van, Baz's Burgers near Costco in Oldham. He says plenty of banter and a great selection of not just greasy spoon rubbish, but far too honest. He's far too honest. He even asked, "Do you want the good sausages or the not so good sausages?" Not quite what he wrote, but I kind of like that. Well, in fairness, you know, it's kind of it's sort of obviously a decent sausage costs money. I remember there was a farmer who turned around and he said, I don't eat other people's sausages because I don't know what goes into them, and I don't eat my own sausages because I know what goes into them. So, but you can make a nice sausage. You could grind up a bit of fillet steak, and you could put it in one of those sort of awfully tube things and give it a little swizzle, and you'd have a fillet steak sausage. So I kind of like that. And if you turn around, I like the fact transparency. You can turn around to people and go, do you want the posh one? It's going to cost you more money, but it's really nice and the animals are happy. Or do you want the cheap one? It's not really nice, it's full of sawdust, but it fills a hole. And then you can make a choice. You know, it's good to have a choice, isn't it, really? So, right, miscellaneous. Miscellaneous this week we've got, I haven't got such a long Q&A today, you'll be pleased to know. Matt Jennings says, thanks, Pete. Really appreciate you taking the time, because I did a video on him for, I can't remember what one was. Last one, I think. It's the next question. When do you think Euro 5 trucks will no longer be viable with all these ULEZ popping up all over the shop? I've got to be honest with you, Matt. I think it's the ULEZ thing is becoming a pain. Because the amount of times I'm having to quote a job, I'm thinking, is it zone? Isn't it zone? It's all well and good if you drive around it. When they put these zones up, I think they kind of focus on the fact that people in the area know them, so you either go and you don't. But what if you're not from the area and you're getting a job in the area and you think, oh, suddenly I've passed a camera, that's cost me £100. It's kind of like a speed camera, but one that you can't not speed past, because you've got to drop off there. It's kind of frustrating. And also, the third age goes on. He says, the charges will not stop. Euro 5, Euro 6, Euro 7. It'll be a matter before all internal combustion vehicles are charged. And you're both right. And I think that's worth a video as well in its own right. So I think I'll probably whack something out on that one, my full take on it, to be honest with you. But yeah, until we get to the bottom of that, I've done these life on the road videos. I'll probably do a couple side by side like I used to. So there'll be one on the exchange or one on thoughts, and I don't know. Still trying to work it all out, to be honest with you. Domain name guy, my mate out there. How we doing? Old the trader. He says some of these new shape Mercedes Sprinter vans with motorway miles on 2020 plates have got 250,000 miles on them already, ex-lease, etc. He said, but they are serviced on the dot, and they and we'll be seeing Mercedes Sprinters with 500,000 miles being the norm before long. Problem is that people are selling houses to live in Mercedes Sprinter vans and crafters, which reduces the available stock. I'm not quite sure how many of them are like the Marthas out there. You know, Martha and the van dwellers. But I do believe the vans will go on for longer. Although I do also think they'll start costing you money. I still think that at 300,000, the injectors have got to be changed. That's a grand. And also, the later the van, the dearer it gets in. In fairness, Jeremy Hawke made a point about this. He said, older vehicles, Pete, he said, over the years, I have run old and brand new vans. I have always made more money out of the older vans. I rent 2 new long wheelbase vans at the moment, but I've just added a 16-plate Vauxhall Movano. If we had to replace an engine and a gearbox, it would still work out cheaper in the long run. The cost of new vans are now double what I would expect to budget for. It's madness, absolute madness. I remember when we were doing the markets when I was a young boy, when I was about 13, 14, so we go back a very long time here. We always had new vans. My dad would always buy new vans. The thing is, we would do Milton Keynes Market or Purley Centre Market, and we'd take £2,000 in a day. We were smashing it. You couldn't see the stalls go bang, 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 bang. This is in the days when to buy a brand new VW, an LT35 with a big gear stick and the engine in the middle, was 5k. Now, I'll grant you the 2k is not profit, probably conservatively speaking, £500 for profit. But if you can do that twice a week, you work a month, you get a van. Now, how long you got to work out a van? What, like 30, £35,000? You've got basically got to put 6 months worth of profit into one van. I don't know when the balance tipped. I don't think it's great. But yeah, I'll take you on board. Your point, like, you know. We always prefer to go good quality second hand, get them up to speed, and then get them maintained. That seems to work for me. Everyone does it their own way. That's a good thing about it. You do you. Damien W says, TEG price per mile. Oh, this, I think this is to do with one of these subscription things. Is a new way to gain the competitive edge of your business. Here is why they don't show prices, the prices they sell at. They want £10 a month subscription. So this TEG price per mile must be like a rival exchange thing. But rather than asking silly money subscription, it's asking £10 per month subscription. Damien, I don't know much about this, but if you want to give us a bit more information, I'll gladly share it with the boys. That's what we do. Boys and girls out there too. Ryan Carter says, I'm looking to start my own courier business. However, I'm only 19 and hire for hire and reward and van insurance is around 8k. Is this normal, or are there ways to reduce costs? I'll be honest with you, Ryan. It's too many imponderables on insurance. what is your license like? How long have you had it? How long no claims bonus? Where are you living? Where are you parking the van? I mean, you are definitely up against it when you're at that age. The only thing I could suggest is maybe going working for a firm, trying to build up a bit of insurance while trying to build up a bit of no claims bonus. But like I said, I did say to our Ryan on the text, I says, I'll throw it out with the Sunday boys. And obviously the wise guys out there. And if anyone's got anything that they know that could help the young lad, I'm sure we'll share the information with him, because that's what we do here. And finally, on the miscellaneous this week, John Hall said, there is always someone who's getting it cheaper, bigger and more expensive than anyone else. John, there is always a bigger fish. It was Liam Neeson in The Phantom Menace. That's one of my favourite quotes. And in conclusion this week, John Shaw says, 1.9 a rig check. I guess this is a CB thing. Does anyone ever have a CB? I mean, there was a time, again, when I was a young man, 13, 14, when dinosaurs were roaming the earth. We had CBs. We kind of got a car battery and set them up in our bedrooms. It became a trendy thing just after Convoy come out on the telly, like, you know. And then they made it legal, and the second they made it legal, nobody wanted one. Because when there's biscuits in the tin, where's the fun in biscuits? But does anyone still have a CB? I'd be curious to know. You got that thing... Alpha Foxtrot, Tea Kettle Barbecue, that kind of thing. And do we have handles and stuff like that? Or does everybody just text now, a mobile phone? Well, obviously not when you're driving, although you can do the voice to text thing, which is an absolute godsend. I'm very pleased with that. But, yeah, so that's it. I mean, lots to be going on with there. There will be a second Nick of Time video coming out this week, and there's also one on invoicing on the CX, and I've got a few questions. I'm going to have to start. I said I was only going to go down to one video a week, but to be honest with you, I've got tons to catch up on, so it'll probably be two. And plus the Sunday Q&A, which means more of me, and nobody wants more of me, least of all me, but we kind of stuck with it. So, guys, I hope you're out there. You know, it's getting, warmer, lighter. Clock's going back soon. We're out of January. We're out of February. We've got half a chance. 10 months to take care and take money.